There's a new princess in town, and I'm here to give you my opinion on all of the dish, from the dress to the hats to the ceremony, absolutely everything. So stick around because this is strictly my opinion, the Royal Wedding Edition. We'll be right back.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Okay, there is a new princess in Britain, and let's be honest, if Britain knows how to do anything, they know how to throw a wedding. It's absolutely over the top excitement, just everything. It's crazy, but they do it, and they do it well. If they do nothing else, England can throw a wedding. Let me tell you why. And Prince William and his new bride did not disappoint. They had an absolutely beautiful, gorgeous, touching wedding. How much do we love Prince William and Prince Harry? They are so much Diana's sons. Because from what I understand, the night before the wedding, all of those people who had traveled for miles and miles and miles to be there were standing outside of Carlton House and where they were staying. And instead of sitting up there, hanging out, talking, being nervous about the next day, what did they do? They got up, they said, hey, we want to go out, we want to talk to the people, and that's what they did. Security was flipping out because, they hadn't prepared for this, but they didn't care. They just wanted to say thank you to all the people who traveled near and far to see Britain's prince take a princess. So him and Harry, they got into the car, they were doing their little salutes with their uniforms on, and they looked really very dapper and very proper. And they, got there early, which is unprecedented in British society for a royal wedding, to mingle with the people that were there and the guests, and to say hi to obviously Diana's family that was there, as well as some of the celebrities in their own, royal family that was there as well. Kate's dress. Oh my gosh, or should we say Princess Katherine, or Katherine, the Duchess of Canterbury, as her new title dictates. Her dress was absolutely beautiful. It was just stunning. I know a lot of people are comparing it to Princess Diana's with the puffy sleeves and everything that she had, but that was 80s. We're, in a whole new millennium now. And it was just gorgeous for the day. The lace was absolutely beautiful. It was somewhat traditional. It very much reminded everybody, I've heard this over and over again, of Grace Kelly, which is true. And it was very, very stunning. And it looked really great on her, accentuated the small waistline that she has. Pippa's dress was absolutely stunning. I'm not going to say that she stole the show from Kate because, Kate's the bride, she's the future princess, or well, she's the princess now. So, of course, you can't do that. But her dress was absolutely beautiful. And just the two of them together was a ridiculous combination. Everybody should hope to have a wedding that beautiful. And, she walked down the aisle, she looked calm, she looked relaxed, she looked like a woman in love, which is what you want. And, Harry's up at the altar kind of joking with Will, and I've heard that, Will was kind of biting his lip, trying his best not to turn around. I don't understand the whole British thing about, you can't turn around and see the bride coming, because as a professional wedding photographer, that's one of my favorite pictures, is to get that picture of the groom's face when he first sees his bride, and the doors open and he sees her and everything. That's absolutely a great picture, but for some reason, they don't want that. So, he was trying his best not to look, but then when she got down there, according to some lip readers, they've said that he told her she looked very beautiful, and then joked with her father that they were just supposed to have a small family affair, which is hilarious to me because I think for British royalty, that is a small family affair. It was a family affair, in a sense. His brother was the best man, her sister was the maid of honor. They sung All Hail the Queen because obviously it's his grandmother. They had a song before the ceremony started that was in memory of Diana. It was one that was sung at her memorial, which I think was really very touching. You had her brother reciting the scripture from Romans, and then when they went back to sign the royal decrees and the books in the church, both his parents, his father, Prince Charles, as well as his new wife, the Duchess of Cornwall, Camilla, and her parents went with them to the back, along with, obviously, his brother and her sister, to sign everything. So I think it was a little bit more of a family affair. One of my favorite parts, I don't know if anybody else caught this, but when she started to say his name, you know, when she was like, I, Katherine Elizabeth, take you, you know, William, Arthur, Philip, Louis. I don't know if it was because so many other women had messed up the names, like Lady Diana and Fergie, or if it was just because he was very happy, but there was a little smirk on his face, like, yay! And that was very touching. That was one of my favorite parts of the ceremony. We got 2 kisses. 2! On the balcony. That was awesome. Again, unprecedented, because generally you only get 1, and that started obviously with his parents, Princess Diana and Prince Charles. They were the first to do the kiss on the balcony, so, you know, look at their son, changing it up again. So I think that was really cool, and then of course they partied through the night. I understand that hats were required for the service, and it was a huge thing that the Prime Minister's wife did not wear a hat. But seriously, some of the hats, people, oh my gosh, oh my goodness, like, I just have no words. Because how do you go from something so nice and sweet and simple like this to Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie and things like this? That is crazy. I don't understand. You shouldn't try to upstage the bride with your hat. That's just annoying. But yeah, the hats didn't get it, and if I had more of a hat head, I would have on a hat today in honor of the royal wedding, but unfortunately I don't. So, oh well. Now, my other thing that I really want to talk about that I think is really cool, and again, yet an unprecedented thing, especially in this day and age, is that they're waiting to take their honeymoon. Because, you know, usually, like, they go off and they do whatever, but Prince William has said he has to get back to work. Like, that is very unprecedented in British society. For a prince to say he has to get back to work and then actually go back to work, that's awesome. That's absolutely amazing. I'm a little concerned for William and Katherine. And not because I think that they don't love each other or because I don't think that they can make this work. I actually think they have really good temperaments together and they really can make it work. And we could be looking at, you know, the change in the royal weddings and marriages that we've been looking for, you know, where they don't go kaboom in such a huge fashion a la Charles and Diana or Andrew and Fergie. Here's my problem. The constant comparison between Katherine and Diana. So the comparisons to me are a little over the top, and they could so start to cause an issue. Not to mention just the pressure that people seem to be putting on William and Katherine, and even to some extent Harry, because they're looking at this as like, this is the new monarchy, this is the revitalization of the monarchy, they're here to change the monarchy. And you know what? The monarchy is the monarchy, and it's been almost the same for I don't know how many years, like since the birth of Britain. And to look to these two people who have been married all of 48 hours, you know, maybe 72 at this point, to change everything, it's a little extreme, because it let them get through honeymoon, newlywed phase, and then maybe you will get the non-kablooey of marriages. You'll get, you know, happily ever after, which is what every woman who ever dreams of being a princess wants, is just to have that fairy tale ending of they lived happily ever after. and I hope that they do. My blessings and my wishes for them both. Okay, those are my opinions, Royal Wedding Edition. And I bet you have some opinions too if you watch the Royal Wedding or if you've been on, British Royal Wedding overload, because like I said, they know how to throw away, especially with, oh my gosh, whatever they paid for the wedding, they definitely should have recouped, because tourism alone probably went up over the top. I mean, people staying, sleeping in tents 3-4 nights ahead of time just to get a glimpse of them. So, I definitely want to hear your opinions about the royal wedding and about Princess Katherine and Prince William, the Duke and Duchess of Canterbury. So by all means, as always, please respond to this video or leave your opinions on the blog. So, I look forward to hearing from you, and keep those opinions coming. And until next time, all hail the Queen.
Repeat, this is not a drill. Is that all you got?